Hi everyone, hope you are doing good. So in this video, I will talk about Microsoft Power Automate, which is used to automate different things. So Power Automate is basically used to automate repetitive business processes and any kind of repetitive task. With Power Automate, you can send reminders on past due tasks. You can move your business data between the systems on a schedule. You can connect with more than 900 data sources or any publicly available APIs. So Power Automate basically works with list of connectors that can directly use to connect with different data sources and different platforms which are available. So if there is no connector available, you can create your own connector, which is known as custom connectors. Since Power Automate is under the umbrella of Microsoft, so it is tightly coupled with a lot of things, like it is tightly coupled with Power Apps, Microsoft Forms, SharePoint, OneDrive, Power BI, and many more things. So as you can see, there are a lot of here are some list of out of box connectors which are available. As you can see, we have OneDrive, we have Outlook, we have SharePoint, we have Planner, and lots of available connectors. So I will quickly showcase you a small demo about Microsoft Power Automate. So just open a web browser, and to open up Microsoft Power Automate, you need to enter a URL as make.powerautomate.com. So through this, you will get redirected to Microsoft Power Automate interface. But if you are a Power Apps developer, you go to make.powerapps.com, and on the left hand side, you will see this Power Platform, and you can choose Power Automate over here to get into Microsoft Power Automate. So here is an option to create different types of flow. So we have automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, and scheduled cloud flow. So there are three different types of cloud flows. So automated cloud flow is basically you don't need to do anything to run this flow. So basically when there is a trigger, let's say we have set a trigger. So whenever a new item or record is created in the SharePoint site, then this flow will automatically trigger. Let's say we put a trigger something like when there is a new file created in the OneDrive folder, then the flow should trigger itself. So this is how the automated cloud flow is. If you talk about instant cloud flow, so instant cloud flow doesn't come up with any automated trigger. We need to run this flow by ourselves. Another one is scheduler cloud flow. So scheduled it as the name suggests. So let's say you have a regularly doing task at 9 a.m. So you can schedule your flow at 9 a.m. and every day at 9 a.m. the flow will get triggered and run automatically. So this is how it is. So today I'll show you one of the simple scenario how we can automate things. So I have a list, SharePoint list, which says some employee ID, employee name, and employee email. So let's say I want to send an email to all the employees inside this list with a simple reminder. So how can I do that? So I'll go to this. So this is an instant cloud flow, manually triggering a flow. Let's say flow name is send an email, create. So manually triggering flow is, this is the trigger, and we'll add some actions to it. So what action we need to add is we need to send the emails to those who are present in this list. So we need to pop up this list into the SharePoint site. So to do that, we have a SharePoint connectors available. So if I open SharePoint, as you can see, there are list of connectors available. You can add attachment, you can check in the file, you can create item inside the SharePoint list. So there is an option called list items. So get items is one of them. So I will choose get items. It will create a connection to my SharePoint, and here is the connector. So this connector is asking me for the site address and the list names. So this is my site address. I just copy this and provide the site address. Right, so I have provided the site address. Now I will automatically get the list name. So this is my list, employee details that I have created in the SharePoint site. And it is asking me to limit entries and include nested items. So I don't want to do any complex things as of now. Okay, now so we are done with get items. Now, whatever the items which will be present in the SharePoint list will get here through this connector. Now, we need to send an email to all the employees. For that, we will be using send an email connector of Microsoft Outlook. So as you can see, send an email v2. So this is asking me to send to whom you want to send, with what subject and body. So I have an option here to add a dynamic content. So I click on this dynamic content, and from this get items, I'll get name and employee ID and employee details. But here I'm getting automatically, it is saying that it will accept only email kind of thing. So it is showing me on the top that email will get here. And after clicking on the email, it automatically applies to a loop, because there are a lot of items coming in from get items and we need to loop it through to send an email to all the employees. And let's say subject is Power Automate intro to all employees. And let's put demo things in the body, and let's save the flow. Okay, now you are done with save. It is showcasing me some of the warning that you want to get all the rows present in the table, or you want to apply some kind of filter while fetching the rows. So as of now, I have only three rows. Let's test it out. So to test it, here is the button to test it out. It says manually and automatically. So as of now, we didn't run that. Once we run it, the automatically function will also pop up here. So before running that, I'll showcase you. I'll go back. So there are several options available here, like you can export this flow, you can even turn off this flow, and there are some 28 days run history. So whenever this flow runs, the history will be showcased here. So let's go back to edit again and test it out. So let's test it out manually and click on test. And it says permission, since it is using two connectors, one is SharePoint and one is Outlook. So let's just click on continue and run the flow. It's done. As you can see, your flow ran successfully and it took almost 3 seconds. As you can see, 0, 0, and here it is 3. So it is sent an email to this. Let's check one of my email if I have received a email or not. So to check that, let me open my Outlook. Yeah, so here is the email. As you can see, this is the email that I have received. And if I go back to the flow, so this is it. So whenever the flow runs, history will be showcased here, and it is said test succeed. And I can click on this and I can check for every step. As you can see, this runs, as there are 3 rows only, so it runs for 3 times. Each time there is a different email. One is this one is this one, and one is this one. So this is how Power Automate works. Okay, so let's take another example and create an automated cloud flow. So we are taking a scenario as, so whenever a new file is created within a OneDrive folder, it should get converted to a PDF file and send me an email notification. So let's create out automated cloud flow. I'm not putting the flow name and trigger here. I will do that inside. Okay, so I'm using OneDrive for Business, and I'm using whenever a file is created. Okay, so it is asking me for the folder path, so I can open this show picker. Inside that root, I have a files folder. So whenever a new file is created within this folder, this flow will get automatically triggered. So this is one trigger, and I need to define actions. So what action I need to do is whenever the file is created, I need to convert it to a PDF file. So we have a convert action available from OneDrive, that is convert file. So it is asking me for the file. So the file which is created, so this trigger will give me the file ID, which will pass into this file. So this, when I click on this, add from dynamic content, this will get open. So this is that file identifier, the unique identifier for a file or folder. So this is basically the file ID. So I'll choose this file ID, and target type is PDF, although we have several other options like HTML, JPG, GLB. So this time I will be choosing PDF. So once the file is converted to a PDF file, I need to save this file somewhere. So I need to create a file. Again, I can use OneDrive, create a file. Create a file is again the OneDrive connector. So it is asking me for the folder path. I can say I should create in the same folder. Let's say file. And the file name should be same as the file which is uploaded. So I can say from the converted file, as you can see, there are two different connectors available. From the convert file, it is giving me two options, and from when the file is created. So both these two have some of the outputs. So from this convert file, I am getting the file name. So I'll pass the file name in the create file, and it is asking me for the file content. So I have file content available from the content converted file. So this is it. Now, whenever the file is getting converted, I need to send an email to myself. So send an email. I've used a send an email connector of Outlook. Send an email v2, and it is asking to whom you want to send. I will say my name here, and it will automatically add me as an email address. Subject, new file is created. I want to pass the file name. So let's see if I can pass the file name. So if see, there is a dynamic content, and inside the dynamic content, if I can have the file name, so name of the file and folder, here it is the name, and we can say new file is converted with name this. That will be the subject, and I can put the same inside the body, that new file is created. I can pass again the name. Let's say this is the name. I can pass the name, I can pass the display name, and I can even pass the path. So let's pass the path as well, and let's save it. Okay, so our flow is successfully saved, and let's test it out. Manually test. Yeah. So to see it works now, add a file to the OneDrive folder. So whenever a new file is added, this flow will automatically get triggered. And I will go to my OneDrive. From here, I can choose my OneDrive. And in my files, here is a folder called files. So already there are some files. Let's delete that and add a new file. So I'm adding a new file here, which is a resolution setting. I am just uploading a file here. Once it is done with the uploading, the flow will get started automatically. Yeah, it started. Your flow is running. And once it is done, it will send me an email notification here. Let's wait for a few seconds. Yeah, so your flow ran successfully, and I have received an email. So the new file is converted with resolution setting .pdf. If I go back to the OneDrive folder, the newly get created PDF file is available here. I can open this, and this is the PDF file that is got created. So this is how we can use Power Automate flow to create some of the automated task. I'll go back. Yeah. So this is the introduction about the Power Automate flow, and this is how you can automate your regularly doing task and some simple automation to complex automation. Thank you everyone for watching this video. See you soon.